I wasn't Set his first choice. I was just a name on a paper, a warm body, a temporary solution until something better arrived. The day I moved into his house, it was raining. Not heavy, just that soft kind of drizzle that soaks quietly. My suitcase barely zipped. Heat suppressants rattled in my bag. My Bond scar still raw. He opened the door like he already knew I'd be hard to look at. Didn't speak much, just nodded, stepped aside, eyes dark, quiet, shirt slightly wrinkled, like he hadn't planned on seeing me today. I stepped inside with wet shoes and a heavier chest. The floor was too clean, the air too cold. My scent hung there, nervous, bitter, a little too sweet. He opened the nearest window within minutes. Didn't say why, but I knew. He gave me a blanket, or placed it on the couch like it wasn't a favor, just necessary. He never asked me anything, not about the scar, not about where I came from, not why my fingers trembled when I unpacked my pills. Maybe that's why I felt safe. The first week passed in silence. I stayed in the guest room, logged my temps, took the suppressants, ate in the kitchen only after he left for work. I didn't want to be seen. But he started noticing anyway. Once I sneezed. Stupid, sudden. He handed me tissue without looking up from his phone. Another night, I found a cup of warm tea waiting for me on the counter. Chamomile. I didn't tell him I liked it. The next morning my mug was washed before I could reach for it. Little things, soft, quiet things, like he was trying to not make me feel like a ghost, but still didn't want to know my name. I told myself it was professional. Clinical. Temporary. He was an alpha, a good one. Cold, yes, but never cruel. He never crossed a line, never entered my room, never let his scent reach me fully, like he was scared of what it would do, or maybe what it wouldn't. I was careful too. I stayed on schedule, took every dose, hid every tremor, wore extra layers to keep my pheromones sealed. But sometimes, late at night, I heard him pacing outside my door. Just once, maybe twice. I told myself I imagined it. The third week, I started noticing her name. It showed up on his screen when he wasn't looking. Just a soft glow from the kitchen table. Miss Liang. A photo of her in a white coat and expensive smile. I didn't ask. I couldn't set. But I stopped drinking the tea after that. It tasted like something I couldn't afford to want. He didn't notice. Or maybe he did, and chose not to ask. The next few days, he was quieter. Gone longer. But whenever he came home he still paused when I passed by. Still looked at me with that unreadable expression. Not warmth, not cruelty, just something stuck in between. One evening I caught him staring. My hair was still damp from a shower. Suppressants late. Skin flushed. His eyes lowered, lingered. Just for a second near my collarbone where my gland was faintly visible. Then he turned. Said nothing. Walked away. My heart didn't sit. It stayed right there, on the stairwell. In the heat of his gaze, in the breath he didn't take. A few days later the engagement post went up. I saw it by accident. Open tab, his laptop screen reflected in the mirror behind the sink. Her photo, his name. A caption that said perfect match in gold cursive. I couldn't breathe. Not because I didn't no, but because I did. I was never meant to stay. I remember standing in the kitchen that night, barefoot, cold marble under my feet. I held the mug, the one he used to clean, and stared at the floor like it would tell me why I wasn't enough. He walked in, paused when he saw me. His scent spiked for a moment, sharp, confused, regretful. I waited for words, anything. He just said, "You stare still awake." I nodded. He left the room before I could put the mug down. The next day the windows were wide open. Every trace of my scent gone. I sat on the edge of the bed, fingers gripping the blanket he gave me. I still remember the way it smelled the first night. Faint detergents. Something like cedar. Something like him. Now it smelled like nothing. I looked down at my Bond scar. The skin was healing wrong. Jagged. Pale like a memory that refused to smooth out. I should left then. But I stayed another night. Just one more. Hoping maybe he'd say something. Explain. Apologize. Lie. But silence stayed louder than anything else in that house. And in that silence, I folded my clothes,
packed my pills,
wrote a note I didn't leave, took the mug, left the key. I shouldn't have looked back. But I did. He stood there, barefoot on the same cold marble, holding the key I left behind. His fingers trembled around it, like it hurt to touch. Or to let go. I turned before I could see his eyes. My throat burned, from scent, from silence, from everything I didn't say. It wasn't supposed to go like this. But I wasn't his first choice. Just convenient. Until something better arrived. I don't ever remember when the soup started. Maybe the second week, or third. I was coughing. Heat suppression always dried my throat too much. I was dizzy, slow, cold. The kind of cold that starts in your bones and doesn't leave, even when you curl up tight under 3 layers. He knocked once. Didn't wait for me to say anything. I pulled the blanket tighter around me. My body trembled. I hated that he saw me like this. Small, curled up, useless. But he didn't speak. Just placed a bowl of soup on the nightstand. The steam fogged his glasses for a second. Then he turned to leave. "Thank you," I said so quietly it barely left my mouth. He paused, his back still to me, and then he nodded. That was all. But it stayed with me longer than it should. After that I started noticing more. Little things. My medicine bottles always arranged neatly now. My glass of water always full. The blanket on the couch, the one I never used, always folded tighter after I left it. Once I fell asleep at the table, head resting on my arms. I woke to find someone had dimmed the lights, a pillow under my head. His scent faintly lingered on it, like he'd been closer than I remembered. I told myself it didn't mean anything. Alphas were naturally attentive, protective. It wasn't for me, it was just his nature. But then came the night I forgot to close my door. My body had been reacting strangely. Not heat, not yet, but close. The suppressants were late. I felt warm. My scent was shifting, leaking. I tried scrubbing it off, using soap 3 times. It clung to me anyway, like a wound that refused to close. I lay on my side, eyes half open when I heard footsteps outside. Not pacing, not accidental. He paused in front of my door. I felt him breathe. Even through the gap I felt it, his presence, his scent, that low, steady hum of alpha energy vibrating the air. He didn't come in. He just stayed there, for minutes. Maybe more. Then, he walked away. I lay there frozen, heart too loud in my ears. Why did that hurt more than him leaving? The next day, everything was normal. He didn't mention anything. But his eyes didn't meet mine when I passed him in the hall. I tried to ignore it, tried to stay quiet, invisible. But he kept doing things that made silence feel heavier. "Eat something," he murmured once. When he saw me skipping lunch, I said, "I'm not hungry. You still need to eat." His voice, it wasn't angry, but it was firm. I looked up, his eyes met mine that time. And I felt it. That strange warmth. That tension, like he wanted to say something else but didn't know how. I wanted to scream. If I didn't matter, why did he care? Why warm soup? Why soft lights? Why watch me like I was glass? Why gently hold my wrist when I tried to pass him too quickly? That night I sat in bed, holding my pillow to my chest. I buried my face in it. It still had his scent faded, but there, alpha cedarwood, clean linen, a hint of citrus he probably didn't even realize he carried. It was addictive. I pressed it closer, inhaling like it would answer me. My scent was changing too. Not strong, but sad, thin, like wilted flowers left in the sun. Even I could smell it. It smelled like loss. Then her name appeared again. On his phone. Buzzing late into the night. Lit screen in the dark. Liang Mixiu. Perfect name. Perfect smile. His perfect match. I watched him type back quickly. No smile. No hesitation either. He looked tired, or maybe I just wanted him to look that way. When he turned and saw me staring, I quickly looked down. "Couldn't sleep?" he asked. I shook my head. He stepped closer. I felt his scent shift. Not desire, but concern. His fingers brushed the side of my forehead. Light. Careful. "You star warm," he said. "Are you okay?" I nodded again. Too fast. "As I'm fine." But I wasn't set. I was breaking. That weekend he came home late. His coat damp from rain. She must have taken that photo. His collar turned wrong. His smile soft. He didn't notice I was still in the living room. Didn't notice the way my fingers dug into the blanket when I smelled her perfume on his sleeve. Not his scent. Whores. Sharp, floral, too clean. It clashed with everything in that house. Everything that used to smell like us. Tea, dust, quiet. He paused when he saw me. "You're still awake," he said again.
The same line.
Different night. I stared at him. My throat hurt. I wanted to ask, why still care? Why the soup, the lights, the gentle touches? Why hold me like I meant something if I never did? But all I said was, "You set her wet." He blinked. Then nodded. "Yeah." He walked past me like he didn't smell my pain. But I know he did. An alpha always knows. And yet, he said nothing. That silence almost killed me. Later that night, I stood in the kitchen. His mug in my hand. The one I always used. The chipped one. The one he used to wash before I could. I held it tighter. It smelled like my hands now. My lips. But soon it wouldn't set. Soon even that would be gone. I stared at the sink for a long time. My scent curled around me. Faint, hopeless, bruised. He still cared. But he was still leaving. And I was still pretending I didn't want him to stay. I shouldn't have skipped my meds. But my chest, it hurt more than my gland. My heart kept whispering, what if he stayed? If he smelled me, really smelled me, would he still leave? I didn't do it to trap him. I swear. I just wanted to be seen. One last time, with nothing hidden, nothing masked, nothing suppressed. It started slow, a warmth at the base of my spine. Then, pressure behind my eyes. My skin prickled. My body betrayed me. I pressed my palm to the wall beside the sink. Cold tile, but not enough. Sweat clung to my neck. My breath started catching, shallow and fast. I gripped the counter. Knuckles white, legs shaking. No, not now. Not here. But it was too late. The scent slipped first. Thick, sweet. Wanting. It curled around the room like smoke. I tried to hold it in. Bit my lip. Clenched my fists. I even reached for the drawer where my emergency suppressant shot was. Empty. I forgot I used the last one 2 nights ago. Forgot to restock. Or maybe, didn't forget. I tried to walk toward my room but my knees gave way. My palms hit the floor hard. My breath, hot, loud, desperate. The scent of heat was rising. Raw. I crawled toward the cabinet under the sink. Old tile burning against my knees. And then, his footsteps. I froze. No, no, not now. Please not now. But I already scented the room too much. Too full. Too loud. He was already at the door. I didn't turn, just stayed hunched on the floor trying to breathe, trying to think, trying not to cry. You stare in heat. His voice. Low, cracked. Not confused. Just shaken. I closed my eyes. He smelled me. He finally really smelled me. I nodded slowly. Couldn't speak. Couldn't lie. The air between us was thick now. Pressing, my scent wrapped around him like something alive. Clinging, twisting. I heard the sound of his breath. Sharp inhale. Shaky exhale. Then silence. His scent shifted. Alpha. It rolled over me like thunder. Not loud, not aggressive, but heavy, pulling. I dared to look up. He stood in the doorway, fingers gripping the frame like it was the only thing keeping him still. Eyes wide, pupils blown. Pupils blown. His throat bobbed once. I said'll go, he whispered, voice strained. He turned. But the moment he did, my body gave out. My legs folded. My chest collapsed forward. I hit the floor with a thud I barely felt. Heat surged. Vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. Couldn't move. My gland throbbed like it was calling to him. Everything inside me screamed, stay. Then, arms. Around me. Strong, warm, familiar. He caught me. Lifted me gently. My body trembled against his. My forehead against his collarbone. His shirt soaked in my scent within seconds. I tried to pull away ashamed, but he held tighter. His fingers curled at the nape of my neck. Breath shaky, like he was fighting himself. Like he was falling. "I didn't mean for you to see me like this," I whispered. My voice didn't sound like mine.
Too hoarse.
Too broken. He didn't set reply. He didn't set need to. His nose brushed the side of my throat. I gasped softly. He didn't set bite. Didn't set claim. But he pressed his lips to the skin just above my gland. Soft, slow, too tender. I felt his breath against my skin. His scent, oh God, his scent. It surged through me like fire. Cedar, rain, that faint citrus warmth I'd memorized. I whimpered. I wasn't trying to, but the sound escaped anyway, like a secret breaking free. He pulled me closer. My fingers curled into his shirt. I felt his heartbeat. Fast. Uneven. His lips stayed against my gland. Not biting, just breathing. Like he didn't set no if he should. Like he wanted to but couldn't sit. Or maybe, wouldn't set. I didn't ask why. I didn't want the answer. I just stayed still. Let my scent wrap around him. Let my body melt into his arms. I said, never been held like that. Not in heat. Not in longing. Not like I was something cherished instead of something convenient. I buried my face in his chest. My skin burned. He smelled like home. Like everything I was about to lose. I don't know how long we stayed like that. Maybe minutes. Maybe more. But eventually, his breath slowed. And then, he pulled back. Gently. Like he was undoing something sacred. I blinked up at him. Eyes blurry. "Why?" I whispered. He didn't answer. He just looked away. Stood up. Backed toward the door like he was afraid of what he might do if he stayed. "Rest," he said, his voice low. "Frayed." Then he was gone. And I was alone again. Except, his scent stayed. It soaked into my skin, my lungs, my memory. I lay on the cold floor, limbs too heavy to move. My glands still pulsing. My body still burning. But my heart, it was quiet now. Because for just one moment, he didn't leave. I crawled back to bed somehow. Wrapped myself in the blanket he gave me weeks ago. It still smelled like him. My fingers found the pillow he used when he napped on the couch. I pressed it to my chest. Curled around it. Held on like it was all I had left. Maybe it was. My scent was different now. No longer just heat. It was full of him. Of the touch he didn't mean. Of the breath he left on my skin. Of the bite he didn't give. And that absence, it hurt more than anything else. I didn't sleep. Just lay there, eyes wide in the dark, scent curling around me like a question no one would ever answer. Did he want to bite me? Or did he stop himself because he knew that once he did, he never be able to let go? I don't remember the beginning, just the burn. Something sharp pulled me awake. Inside my chest, my gland, my lungs, the pillow beneath me was damp with sweat. My thighs sticky, my breath fast, rough. Not mine anymore. Heat never left quietly. It returned like a punishment. But this wasn't heat, this was his rut. I felt it before I heard him. That pull, that gravity. Alpha scent, deeper now, darker, no longer gentle. It crept under the door, wrapped around my throat, pushed into my skin. I sat up too fast. The room spun. The door was already open. He stood there, chest heaving, hair a mess, shirt half undone, fists clenched like he'd buried them in walls just to stay out. Our eyes met. And I knew. He wasn't in control anymore. His pupils were blown wide, swallowing light, his jaw tight, breath catching like each second hurt. I felt my scent spike, immediate, afraid, wanting. I tried to speak. Nothing came out. He stepped forward. I flinched just a little. He froze. Breathing harder now, as if my fear made it worse. I didn't mean to. His voice barely human. Strangled. He took another step. And I didn't move. Not away. Not anymore. Because somewhere inside me, something had already broken open. I whispered, "You should go." But my body leaned forward like it didn't believe me. He didn't move. just stared, like he couldn't believe I was real, like he hadn't seen me in weeks, months, lifetimes. You reek of me, he said. I blinked, swallowed. I didn't mean to. He stepped closer, too close. His scent hit me like a wave. Rough cedar, cracked citrus, that strange ache of want buried beneath. I felt my knees buckle. He caught me. Again. His arms around me trembling. Not with hesitation. With restraint. I told myself I wouldn't touch you, he said. I looked up. My voice small. Then why are you here? Silence. His throat moved. His eyes searched mine. I tried not to come back. I didn't understand. His fingers slid up, hesitant to the back of my neck. Paused over my gland. He didn't press. Just hovered. My body screamed. I whimpered, soft. And that was it. His rut cracked open. A low sound left his throat, not words. A growl buried in guilt. His hand grabbed the back of my neck. Not rough, but firm, possessive. His mouth found my collarbone first. Hot, unsteady, then higher, then my gland. I gasped. My hands fisted his shirt, but he didn't bite. Just licked. Slow, claimless. His breath was shaking worse than mine. Like every instinct in him wanted to claim. Mark, Sheil. But something held him back. His forehead pressed to mine. He was burning. So was I. My scent filled the room like smoke. Clinging, crying. He kissed the side of my jaw. Light, searching. I choked on my own breath. Why now? I whispered. He didn't answer. Because maybe he didn't no. Or maybe he did, and it hurt too much to say. The world blurred. We collapsed backward, him holding me against his chest. The bed didn't feel like mine anymore. It felt like something sacred was breaking inside it. He didn't undress me. Didn't strip me bare. He just pressed against me like he couldn't bear to be apart. His scent soaked into me. It wrapped around my wrists, my throat, my heart. I heard myself cry out. Not in pain. Not even in heat. In relief. Because for once he wasn't holding back. He let himself want me. Even if just for a moment. My fingers curled in his shirt. I buried my face in his chest. I could hear his heartbeat. Out of rhythm. Just like mine. Don leave. I whispered. I didn't mean forever. I just meant, not yet. He didn't say anything. But he kissed the top of my head. And for that moment I believed he might stay. I don't remember falling asleep. Just the cold that came after. When I opened my eyes, he was gone. The window open. The air too still. The scent, fading. Except the coat draped over me like a memory. It smelled like him. But faint now. Like regret. No message. No words. Just absence. I sat up slowly. The blanket slid off my shoulders. My skin was cold but my gland still burned. It pulsed like it had been touched but not claimed. Like a question without an answer. I stared at the ceiling. It didn't speak either. Was it love? Was it a mistake? I touched my throat. The skin unmarked. But I felt his mouth there. Still warm. Still trembling. Still choosing not to bite. That hurt more than if he had. Because I knew what it meant. He wanted me. But not enough to keep. The next morning the mug was missing. The one I always used. I checked every cabinet, every shelf. Gone. I don't know why. But I cried. Maybe because it meant he took something of me. Maybe because it meant I wasn't invisible after all. Or maybe, because even now, I still wanted him to come back. I didn't leave my room for 2 days. Didn't eat. Didn't open the windows. I lay curled in the blanket he touched, letting his scent rot into the silence. I thought maybe he come. Maybe he knock. Say something. Even just my name. But nothing. Not a sound. Not a message. Just the coat. His scent fading slowly, like it didn't want to go. Like it was trying to stay just a little longer. I pressed it to my face. Closed my eyes. Pretended it was him. His chest. His arms. His warmth. But it wasn't It never would be. By the third night my scent changed. No longer heat. Just heartbreak. Even I couldn't stand it. I opened the window, let it out. Let it all out. Every last trace. Even if it meant he wouldn't come looking. Even if it meant he already chose not to. And yet, somewhere deep in my skin, where his breath touched, where his lips trembled, where his hand gripped like I was, the only thing keeping him sane, I still carried him. Not marked, but ruined anyway. I ran before sunrise. The sky still bruised with night. No birds, no traffic, just the sound of my suitcase wheels scraping the concrete like guilts. I didn't slam the door. Didn't leave a note. Just left the key on the counter, beside the mug he once washed without asking. It felt too quiet, like the house held its breath as I walked out. I kept my head down, hoodie pulled tight, my scent bottled under layers, suffocating against my skin. My Bond scar throbbed, like it knew I was leaving the only place it ever softened. I didn't look back. I thought if I did, I crumble. Because some part of me still believed he'd stop me, say something, call my name. But he didn't So I ran. I took the last bus east. Didn't care where it went. Somewhere far, somewhere scentless, where no one knew me, where no one could tell I still reeked of an alpha, who never bit me, but still broke me. My phone stayed off. Every buzz, every flash, every imagined ring. I ignored it. I told myself I was free now. But freedom tasted like metal, like the bitter edge of something unfinished. It rained the third night after I left. Heavy, unforgiving. I stood under the bus station shelter, coat soaked through, hands shaking, not from cold, but from that echo in my ribs that wouldn't stop. The silence between us had followed me, louder than before. I sat on the bench, face buried in my knees, pretending the storm outside could wash him off my skin. It didn't When I looked up, he was there, just standing, dripping wet, breathing hard, like he ran for miles, like something in him cracked open and wouldn't let him stop. My throat closed. He stepped forward. I couldn't move, not away, not toward him. My fingers dug into the bench. Don do this, he said. His voice wasn't steady, it wavered, like broken glass under tired feet. Rain clung to his lashes. His coat hung off one shoulder. His scent, wild, raw, desperate. It hit me before he even got close. My scent surged in answer. I hated it. How it still reacted, still reached for him. He saw it, felt it. He flinched, like it hurt him too. You think I didn't feel anything? He whispered. I didn't speak. Couldn't He stepped closer. I tensed. He stopped, eyes searching me like they were looking for pieces of himself. He left behind. I chose wrong, he said. I know. I laughed. Soft, bitter, not funny at all. You didn't just choose wrong, I said. You watched me ache and still walked away. Silence. Only the rain filled it. He looked down. His fingers curled like he wanted to tear the moment apart. But I never touched her, he said. Quiet, firm, not once. I looked away. That doesn't fix anything. No, he agreed. But it means something. He stepped forward again. This time, I didn't move. His scent crashed into mine, heavy, storm-soaked, cracked open. He was falling apart. I saw it now. The alpha who always stood straight, composed, untouchable. Looked like he hadn't slept in days. Like he hadn't breathed since I left. Only you, he whispered. I blinked. My lips parted but the words never came. Only silence. Again. His hand reached for me. Stopped midair. Please, he said. Come back. I shook my head slowly. I can sit. You can. His voice broke. You always could. I looked at him. Really looked. Not at the alpha. But at the man. The one who brought me soup when I was too weak to sit up. The one who kissed my gland but didn't bite because he was scared of taking something he wasn't sure I'd give. The one who didn't stop me when I ran because he didn't think he deserved to. I whispered, why now? His jaw clenched. His eyes wet, but not from rain. Because I realized, money can sent me like you do. I froze. He stepped even closer. Now only inches. I couldn't smell anything after you left. Not food, not rain, not her perfume. Everything felt empty, until I caught your scarf by accident. And suddenly, I could breathe again. He reached into his coat, pulled it out. My old scarf. Faded, soft, still carrying the faintest trace of me. I stared at it. He held it to his face. I slept with it, he confessed.
Every night, just to pretend you were still near.
My eyes burned. You never said any of this before. I didn't know how. He said. I was scared. Of what? Of needing you. My breath hitched. His voice dropped lower. Rough. I've always needed you. Silence again. This time, warmer. I whispered, you broke me. I said'll fix it. You left me. I said'll come back every time. You didn't choose me. His eyes locked with mine. I I'm choosing you now. I wanted to believe him. But my ribs still felt cracked. My heart still unsure. So I said nothing. Just stood there, letting the rain soak us both. Letting his scent drown me. He stepped even closer. Hands finally brushing mine. Not grabbing, not forcing. Just there. Waiting. I looked up at him. What happens if I come back? He swallowed. I said'll spend every day proving I should chosen you first. And if I still smell like heartbreak. He leaned in. Nose brushing my hairline. I said'll wear it like cologne. My breath trembled. And this time, I didn't pull away. He didn't knock. Didn't call. Didn't even say my name. Just stood there. In the doorway. Like if he stepped even 1 inch further I'd disappear. I stood in the middle of the room, hands still damp from washing dishes. The sleeves of my sweater stuck to my skin. The air smelled like warm tea and something faintly sweet. The candle I lit to forget what he used to smell like. But when I saw him, all the scents went quiet. Only his returned. Soaked from the rain again, hair falling across his eyes. Jacket zipped wrong. Breath uneven. But this time, no desperation. Just gravity. He didn't ask to come in. He let the moment ask for him. My scent must have reached him first. I saw the way his fingers curled against the doorframe, like he felt it wrap around him. Pull him. Like it still wanted him. Even after everything. I didn't speak. Couldn't He lifted something from behind his coat. A mug. My mug. The chipped one. The one I thought vanished. He held it with both hands, gentle. Like it was fragile. Like it might burn him. I kept this, he said. His voice, it was low, careful, almost scared. I stared. The air between us heavy now. Still, but not empty. Why? I whispered. He looked down. Rain dripped from his collar. Because it still smells like you. My knees went weak. I gripped the edge of the counter, pretending I was steady. I wasn't My heart was not. I looked at the mug again. That stupid ordinary mug. And realized it had never been about tea. Or habits. Or convenience. It was about memory. And scent. The only thing that doesn't lie. He stepped forward. Slow. Careful. Not forcing. Just drawn. I didn't stop him. He reached out, hand trembling slightly, and brushed his fingers over my wrist. Just barely. Not claiming. Not apologizing. Just remembering. I felt the tremble crawl up my arm, curl into my shoulder, settle in my throat. My gland pulsed once. Not with heat. With ache. His hand paused near it. Not touching. Just close enough. If you leave again, he said, voice thin, breaking at the edges, I said'll follow. I didn't blink. His next words were softer. Even if I have to crawl. I closed my eyes. Because if I didn't I fall. We sat in the living room. Quiet. My hand still near his, not touching. I could feel his scent weaving with mine again. Familiar, worn, new. Like the bond that almost happened was waking back up. Not as a demand. But as a question. He looked around. Everything was the same. Same couch, same dusty books, same flickering lamp. But now it smelled like a place that could belong to both of us. He rubbed his thumb along the handle of the mug. I used to drink from it even when I didn't set want tea, he said, just to remember what it felt like. When you were still in the room. I bit my lip. Do you know what I used to do? I whispered. He looked at me. I used to hold your coat when you weren't set home. The one that still had your scent on it. His breath caught. I smiled. Barely. I hated you for leaving it behind. He nodded. I left it on purpose, he murmured. My eyes widened. He didn't set look at me. I knew you set hold it. My chest ached. You wanted me to miss you. No, he said. I wanted you to know I never stopped missing you. I looked down. My hands were trembling again. He noticed. His fingers brushed mine again.
Light.
Like asking permission. I didn't set pull away. I can sit promise I won't sit get scared again, he said. But I sit till tell you when I do. I nodded. And I won set run. I whispered, even if it hurts. He smiled, soft, small, broken in the best way. Our foreheads touched. The first time it wasn't rushed, or desperate, or hiding heat. It was just, I felt his breath warm against my lips. And when he leaned in, just enough. I let him. No bite. No bond. Just a kiss. Soft, like apology. Like memory. Like a promise we didn't set know how to say yet. Later we lay on the couch. His coat draped over both of us. The candle burned low. My head rested on his chest. His heart beat, slower now. Safe. I whispered, were you scared that night, when you didn't set bite me? His arm tightened around me. Terrified. Why? He was quiet. Then said, because if I did, it would set meant I was yours. You already were. He smiled into my hair. I know that now. I don't remember when I fell asleep. But I woke up to the scent of him, still there. Not fading. Not running. Just there. Warm. Steady. Mine.